Hello, citizens and UEMC miners. Rockseeker here with Tim, and we're back. This time at the top of the Grimex station near the, how do you call that? The airlocks, and where people get their ships and so on. So sorry the last time we got disconnected at the end, but discussing with Tim after, apparently it's because I was not on my window with Star Citizen was not on focus, and after a while I guess it assumed there was nothing coming on from me and it just disconnected me. So this time my focus is on my Star Citizen window, so I'll be fine. So let's pick up where we left off. We were about to discuss about the Pioneer. So a bit about me first. Yeah, so I actually did melt my 48-month glaive. Yeah, believe it or not, I did the sacrilege of melting it. But it's in my buyback. I'll just get it back later. It's just a question of time. Or I'm not going to get that one back, but actually kick myself and go and just get the LTI, but that's something else. So, but
whole other video on that.
Yeah, but you had the spare money to get one too, the spare credits, but I don't think you went for the credit.
No, I didn't. I was going to go for the credits, but I was having a really hard time trying to figure out what to melt. And then, it's been a tough year, and I thought I owed it to myself, good to myself. I came up with all kinds of excuses, and
it had been a long time you bought a ship, right?
It had been a while.
A couple of weeks for sure.
Yeah, no, longer. The last thing I bought was actually on the gray market, and it was a CCU, an upgrade token. But other than that, it's the only thing I've bought on the gray market.
Yeah. So actually now the UEMC, I think the last count after that, about 24 hours, basically after the pre-sales and after we got the 1 hour, it lasted about 1 hour, right? The 1,000 Pioneers that you could get with credits. Basically the count was, we had 12. And I believe since then someone joined that has one too, so we would be around 13. But I suspect there's a couple
Baker's
guys.
doesn't.
We have a couple completionists that I haven't heard from, and well, those two guys that have the javelins. And well,
You figure they might have.
Yeah. I Discord them, but I didn't hear back from them. So. I know one of them was on vacation, but who knows? He might still have bought it from his phone. And they're not the kind of guys that would melt stuff and just go and you just go for it. So, yeah. So
I wonder.
Basically, we'll have a lot of outposts right of the start to go and settle somewhere.
Yep, and there's lots of different strategies on how to settle. The question is, are we going to go scatter off and find points everywhere that we can go to as UEMC, or are we going to strategically find spots and try and hold them? What's our high sec strategy? What's our low sec strategy? Lots to think about.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But and there's this whole discussion that's been the panel that was discussing about the claim. But we'll come back to that one because I think we can do a whole episode just on the claim aspect. So let's just, we're halfway through this one. Let's just quickly discuss about the Pioneer. So what did you like the most about the Pioneer? Or what was your biggest surprise when you saw it and you say, oh, I cannot wait till tomorrow and melt something. I'm just buying it.
So you know what? So I bought it pretty much with only seeing the little write-up that was in the email and on the first page, because it was the VIP concierge purchase. So
yeah, you're a concierge. I'm not a concierge. I bought too much stuff just on the gray market. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? This was an interesting purchase. For me to actually throw down that without going through it. But what ended up happening is I had the 10% discount code for being Centurion for a year. Then it was $100 cheaper than we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be $850 to start. So
yeah, even the Warbound, or just maybe 50 off, but not 100.
That's right. So it ended up only being $700 compared to $850. So that's why I decided to go for it, because I knew the next day it would be $850.
Yeah.
And
And
I also
we did not know how fast it would go.
That's right. That's right. So just kind of get what you can. And I lucked out. And out of the 2,000 that were sold that day, I got mine within definitely under the first 500. So I don't know if that's going to mean anything for when we do UEE land claim license staking of ground.
I don't think
I don't
it's
know.
going to make much difference. But yeah.
Well,
So,
it might not, and it would be cool if it's that Wild West. What was that movie, Far and Away, where it was that race off the boat to get on the horses and gallop out,
no, I haven't
find
seen
that piece of land, and put down your stake. Oh, it's a pretty good movie, but it's so apt for this analogy.
Yeah.
So
But
there's lots of land.
What's interesting is that it includes not only a claim title or UE claim something that we'll discuss after in the next episode, but it also includes enough material to build your first outpost.
Yeah, which is a big boon to it.
Yeah, I just don't know how basically you're gonna set up the outpost, because we see how it opens, right? It opens to the side, and then there's basically the assembly lines are on both sides, and you basically build it right in the middle there in the open space.
Yeah.
But how do you move it? Do you have to basically position the ship right where you're gonna put it down? Or we see in the video, in the promotion from Consolidated Outlands, that the Pioneer is kind of floating in the air, just like above the ground, like maybe 100 meters above the ground. Is it something like you just gonna lower it down?
I think that's just because they hadn't finished off the landing component of that asset, to be honest.
maybe it's just that. Yeah.
That main picture they show when it's on the ground, you can see that they've got, just like at the port, you've got those, I can't remember what the name of that is. It's not a longshoreman. The crane operator that actually moves those cranes. It's on the big long rails that pick up the containers and move them. So, they'll be able to lift up the outpost and move it to where you're going to put it. But you'll still have that constraint of that little area, unless it's doing something like hovering, like you're saying.
Well, in real life, if you look at basically loading docks in, like here in Montreal, we have the old port, and that's where the way basically the St. Lawrence River comes down, and that's basically the big transatlantic ship. They cannot go further. They have to stop there, and they just unload everything on the docks, and then they put it either on the train and so on. So basically, it lifts the stuff from the huge transport boat and lowers it on a train wagon or on a truck or something, and then they go with it. So here, will they come out with some form of land vehicle on which you can lower that, basically that outpost and move it somewhere? Or I don't know.
Maybe the way it settles on the ground, it can actually be just above any outposts that are there. So that way you're not squashing any outposts as you try and settle try and put down more.
Because we see in the image, one of the image that they showed, well, actually one of the first image that was released, right? The one on the the day before, like on the Thursday, for the pre-sales, you could see it landed. You could see an outpost being built inside, like in between the two beams. But outside, you could see other few outposts there. So basically, somehow they've been moved. And there's this big arm that moves like to the side, like it's, you have to see what it does exactly.
Yeah, that part that opens out, I suspect that from the back of the ship where the bridge is, off to the one side you've got the landing pad with a door that you can bring cargo in and offload materials. Then on the other side you've got that arm that opens up. And I think that arm is also an area where you can take and load up materials and have that conveyed in to the main assembly area. So I think those are both the ways you get the inputs into the factory, and then the construction goes on in the center.
Yeah.
And you can see it all from the top, from the whole bridge observation deck, which is awesome. And I love that about the Crucible. Bring that to such a big level, and that's just insane.
Well, one thing for sure, we're still gonna learn a lot about it. There's the first QA that came out today as we're recording this, and on Monday basically, and I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if you did, but basically,
No, I haven't.
I'm sure a lot of new things will come out, and now the interesting thing is to discuss about the claim, which we'll do in the next episode. So just wait, guys. We're coming back for this. So see you soon for more.